Hello guys, this is Boom aka, and this is going to be my second episode of my casual commentary series, and well, I guess it's not really a series until you've got like at least 5, I reckon. But in any case, we're going to be talking about the Wolf Among Us and what I am planning on playing for the next few weeks. Because I'm planning on having 2 games instead of just one constant game, because the feeling is that if I keep on playing the same game for too long, people will just be like, fuck it, I can't be asked to watch this game, because all of the episodes have come out and I'm not just fucking swimming in money. I can't just buy every single episode as soon as it comes out. Well, it's already out, but you get what I mean. I can't buy them all at once, and I can't play them all at once and just upload them all at once, so there will be a few days gap in between, and depending on, you know, the variables of real life, the dates that I can actually upload all of these on, and bloody blah blah. Like, they would have been out sooner, but I just uploaded the final episode of episode 1, season 1, please. Yeah, I was going to be planning on playing Don't Starve. I had roughly an hour and a half worth of gameplay and everything of Reign of Giants, which I'm a complete scrub at, because I'm a scrub at vanilla Don't Starve, but it's a lot more difficult on Reign of Giants. That's basically what the whole premise of the game is that it's even harder, the seasons are much more brutal, there's way different, there's new animals, there's new biomes, or whatever you want to call them. I'm pretty sure there's new seasons now instead of just, you know, summer and winter. There's like all of the rest. Oh, I thought I was going to fucking sneeze then. But yeah, there's all of the seasons and everything, so it's going to be colder sometimes and hotter, so you can actually overheat now. And I found that out the hard way, because I played as Willow before I started recording. And Willow, she likes fires when she's nervous. She's a pyromaniac, so she likes fires. And if she stays near her own fires for too long, she overheats and dies. So that's piss take. But oh well. So getting that stretching. I thought in this video I may as well just talk about some of the Wolf Among Us things, like. I may as well talk about some of the characters' backstories. Well, I don't know much about many characters, but I know a bit about Bigby, and I know another thing or two about Snow White, and I may talk about some characters just because I can. And well, let's see where the video takes us. So the main thing that I want to talk about, which I actually don't know that much about, is the exile from the homelands that they always talk about in the game. From as far as I can understand, is that the exile isn't actually exile. It's more like they were forced out of their lands, or they were kicked out of their lands, or they would die, because a huge army like swept through the what they call the homelands, and just started killing Fables, just taking over their lands, and it's like an unstoppable army or some shit. I'm not really sure, because I don't really know. I haven't actually read the comics. I've seen some parts of the comics. I've played the game, well, started playing the game, and I know some bits and bobs about it, but that's basically the whole thing about the homelands, that they got kicked out because of a huge army that was sweeping through and was threatening to kill them all. Some other things I know about Bigby is that his mum, well, I know who his mum and his dad is. His mum is, well, I don't really know if she was a Fable or anything. Well, she was a Fable, but I don't know if she was like highly known or anything like that, because I haven't actually read any of the comics or anything. But she was a wolf called Winter, and she was like just a pure white wolf. And well, I may as well tell it in Fairy Storm, otherwise it'll get a bit awkward. But basically, one day she's like running through the forest, blah blah blah, being all wolfy, and then the Great North Wind, which is basically a big fairy tale character, which I actually didn't know of, because I haven't actually read many fairy tales or anything like that. And North Wind is basically just a huge, almost god, basically. That's the best way to put it. He's almost a god. And he transforms himself into a wolf to, you know, pull the girls, you know, get in there, get your balls deep, if you know. And that happens. He stays with her for like 6 months or however long it takes for wolf cubs to form. I don't know how long it takes. I'll just assume 6 months. And then when the wolf cubs are born, and Bigby, he leaves. I'm getting confused now. The North Wind leaves. He just, you know, flies away and fucks her off, and just leaves her. And she gets sick and starts to die. But the cubs start to grow, and she lives until they get about to a medium size, so about 6 months old. And basically, Bigby was tiny when he was born. Well, everything's tiny, but he never really grew. He was just sick, and he never really grew. But all of his brothers grew, and took the piss out of him, basically. And they nicknamed him Bigby, so big and bad. And when his mum eventually died, all of his brothers left and ran away and just, you know, went to go live their own lives. That's what happens with wolves. But he stayed to protect his mum's corpse from scavengers. But because he was so small, he couldn't defend them off, and he eventually had to run away. And he made like a vow to himself that he would like hunt bigger creatures every day. So he started off with rats, because that's how small he was. He was like barely bigger than a rat. And he eventually started on rats, then like it was like rats, then he moved on to like foxes, then he moved on to pigs, then he moved on to people, and he got to such a big size that eventually he could take down whole villages and hunt people, whoever he wanted. So that's how the stories began of the big bad wolf. And that is basically that. But he eventually went to go looking for the North Wind to hunt him down and kill him for what he'd done to his mum, to just leave and let her die. And he hunted him down, but after a few attempts of hunting him down and killing him, he realised that it couldn't be done. He couldn't kill him on his own. So he just left and just like walked off went on a really long walk, basically, to like somewhere in Europe. I don't think that's actually specified. But he just walks off to somewhere in Europe and then lives on his own for like 20 years or something like that as like a big wolf. I don't know if he can change at this point, like, you know, from wolf to human, but because it's kind of like he's kind of werewolf-y-ish though, isn't he? He changed from wolf to human, but I don't really know. But this takes me on to the next part, which is Snow White. I think how long did it do that? She's until 8 minutes or something, like 5 minutes. And he rescues Snow White because she gets captured by some sort of army or something. I think it is actually the army that was in what's it called? It was the army that was in the Homelands, because at this point they are still in the Homelands because they wandered off somewhere. I don't know if the Homelands were in the real world or somewhere else. I don't really know, because I haven't read the comics. But he rescues her and her sister, called Rose Red. And when I heard Rose Red, I thought it was, you know, Little Red Riding Hood, but I'm pretty sure it's not. And he rescues her and her sister from the army and just like destroys the army. Not the whole army, just like this little camp of them. And at that point, Snow White offers him a job to come back to this place in New York, which is like not even a city at this point. It's just like a tiny little colony. And this is where they make their home, where the Woodlands is based, where the game is based, where the comics are based. But the game is actually based 20 years before the events of any of the comics. And I don't actually know much about Snow White. That's why I'm not really going to go into depth, because I don't want to just, you know, talk shit. And that is basically all I know at this point. And if you do like this type of video, like where I talk about a character, like I could go into more, I could do my homework or revision or whatever about Snow White and her sister, and then I could lead on to different characters, I could read the comics, do this, do that. But yeah, if you do like this layout, me just talking,
broke out
talking
the
about
mix.
shit with random gameplay, which I assume will be TF2, because I'm really getting into that game at the moment, then feel free to leave a like, subscribe, comment. I'd like to hear your feedback on anything, if I made mistakes. You know, criticism's always good. Everyone says that, but I always fucking hate criticism afterwards. But oh well. I'm thick-skinned. I reckon I could take any random shit that YouTube could throw at me.
Eliminating all
And
resistance.
yeah, guys. This is Boom, signing off.